Welcome back to Good Morning Vail on TV8. I'm your host, Liz. Here with Nevada League, we are getting in shape for your Sunday morning with yoga. We did some breathing exercises, and now we're going to do some stretching. So what is the first thing that you like to do?
The first thing I like to do is just focus on posture in your everyday life. So when we're standing here...
We were standing there and showing our side.
Yeah, and so a lot of times people are hunched over. People have shoulder injuries so that one shoulder's higher than the other. If you go to a chiropractor, hips are out of alignment. They're too far back. You know, it's kind of that duck kind of
It's
thing.
all of that with me, so yeah.
So have somebody take a picture of you, see where your alignment's at, and your proper alignment is you're going to want to have your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, over your ankles.
Good to know.
So what you want to do is focus on pulling your shoulder blades back towards your spine. You know, it's kind of doing that.
Stick them out.
Bringing your head up, looking people straight forward in the eyes and kind of bringing it back. Slight bend in the knees so your shoulders are over your hips and are over your ankles, and that's called joint stacking. And it kind of feels, it reminds me of Planet of the Apes, where you see them walking around, head up, chest out, back. That is kind of the proper posture, and it feels kind of weird, but
it does a little bit, but
once you start practicing that, opening your shoulders, you'll find it'll start in your day-to-day life, easing some of that tension, that pain, that inflammation that you feel. So that's a good way just to carry out yoga, and then to remember to breathe throughout the day.
Yeah, that's important.
If you can't remember the last time you took a breath, it's probably a good time to sit down and do a cycle of 4 breaths to help recenter yourself.
Right. Okay.
So the posture
stretching
is one of the most important things in your day-to-day life.
Okay. On the mat.
When I wake up in the morning, you know, depending on how I've slept, you know, people sleep in different positions, that just adds to the imbalances, the inflammation in the body.
That's correct.
So I wake up in the morning, I'm tight in my neck, I'm tight in my shoulder, I'm tight in my lower back. So the first thing you do, since you're already down there laying in bed, you're essentially in Shavasana. You're in your corpse pose. You know, you're about ready to wake up and get ready to start a new day, to start a new life.
Yes.
So sit here, take a few deep breaths, and just get your body going. And then usually what I'll do is I'll bring my knees up into my chest, give them a nice big squeeze. This is essentially child's pose on your back.
Okay,
so
child's pose.
If you have knee issues or anything like that, or severe back issues, this is the easiest way to modify to make it easier on your body. And as you do this, you can start to spread your legs out as well too. You can put your hands on your knees.
Nice camera angle, right?
And this is a good way just to start opening your hips and start awakening the body.
Man.
And then usually what I'll do is I'll set my feet on the ground and we'll just do slight knees to one side, and that'll start getting into your sciatic right down here.
I feel that in my hip.
And all you have to do is let gravity do the work and let your legs melt into the ground.
And then they naturally fall.
You don't want to have any contractions in your muscles. It's just relaxed.
And you don't want to force it.
No forcing whatsoever. In these poses, if you do find slight pain anywhere, you can use props like a block or a bolster, and you can lay that on it to just get the perfect angle that's for your body.
Okay.
And then after that, you want to switch to the other side because you always want to balance it out.
Definitely.
So we do that one.
Ah, God. I need this.
And then in yin yoga, you would sit here and you would hold this for anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, depending on what your teacher is doing with the practice and how they want it to flow.
Okay.
And then the next, I'll pull this back in to stretch out that lower back.
Okay.
And then I'll drop my left leg down and I'll bring the right knee across my body. This is called a supine twist.
Whoa.
Or twisted
I just
roots. I popped as well. And this is one to get a little bit deeper into that sciatic and a little bit more stretch on your IT band here.
I'll tell you what, so many people have the sciatica. This is an amazing stretch.
So these are just the easiest ones to do right as you get up in the morning.
Okay.
Remember to breathe, bring your knees back into your chest, extend that right leg out, and then another supine twist over to this side. And so as we hold these poses, we get out of our muscles and we get into our tendons, our ligaments, and the fascia, the tissue that surrounds all your muscles that keeps them contracted and tight.
Yes.
And we want our muscles to be loose.
Want it to be like a rubber band almost.
And squishy.
Yeah.
So this is the best way to start.
And you don't bounce ever, you just kind of hold it, right?
Nope, you just sit there and you relax, and you breathe. And as you breathe and expand through your lungs, that expands your cavities and it allows you to stretch slightly deeper into your tendons and your ligaments.
I just noticed that when I take a breath, I'm going to let it out, my leg can go down even more.
And it'll start stretching out all the rest of the ligaments in your body.
Nice.
So then we bring your knees back into your chest. I kind of roll around on my back and just loosen up that area a little bit more.
Okay.
And then, you know, get one last full body stretch before you're ready to get out of bed.
Okay. Oh my God. Ugh, I'm ready for bed.
And then the first pose I start with every single morning are extended mountain poses into a ragdoll. And ragdoll is one of the only yin poses that's a standing pose.
Okay, now ragdoll sounds like you just flop.
It's flopping.
I knew it, right.
I'll do an extended mountain pose.
I'm going to watch you first.
You'll take a breath as you breathe in. You want your feet hip width distance apart. You want your shoulders over your hips, shoulder blades back. And then just take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And then you're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're connecting this movement with your breath. And you're going to fold completely over and limp into ragdoll.
No, I like this.
So you want your knees slightly bent. Your arms are going to dangle. Your head's going to dangle. And you're going to sit here and breathe a little bit.
You can feel that hole in the back of your legs.
And then as you start to get into it a little bit more, you can sway side to side, which starts hitting different areas of your sciatic and your lower back.
I'm stiff.
And you never want sharp pains. If you feel any sharp pains, you need to back off and modify and do what your body is calling for.
Okay.
So then what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and we're going to do a halfway lift. So you're going to press into your shins and you're going to work on elongating your spine and taking the crown of your head towards the front wall.
Oh, that feels really good.
So you can stay here for as many breaths as you would like, but then you're going to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to forward fold. And just let your health dangle once more. And then you're going to breathe in, rise up for another extended mountain pose. And this one you might go back a little bit more. And you want to keep your core slightly engaged here and just go for a slight back bend. And then the posture here, when you're standing up straight, people have this tendency to stick their butt out, and that's kind of how your back naturally goes.
We always do that.
So you want to tuck it in, you want to pull the front of your pelvis forward and drop your tailbone.
Oh, lush. Okay, there's a lot of intricate things you need to learn.
So if you focus on your core and you're focused on your breathing, now you're not focusing on anything else. You know, you're starting to get into yourself, into your mind, into your body. The next one I like to do is another one where you interlace your hands behind your back, and then we're just going to bow forward into another ragdoll. And let your arms hang heavy over your head.
Wow.
This one you can sway side to side too, bending your knees. You can straighten out your legs a little bit to get a stretch in your hamstring.
This really stretches your shoulders.
And then just back and forth and do what feels good on your body and try to hit those areas where you start to feel the tightness back there.
Oh, I feel it. I feel it.
All right. And then I would do a few of those. And then you start to loosen up your body. And then I would go into, you know, our awakening series of yoga. So starting out in child's pose.
Okay.
And we'll show you some modifications that you do with yin yoga as well. So if you want to take this bolster and put it in front of you like this for the child's pose. But essentially child's pose are your toes are together, your knees come wide on the mat. You're going to sit back towards your heels. You're going to extend your arms forward, spread your fingers wide, and just rest your forehead on your mat.
All right, we're going into child's pose, and then we'll be right back with more TVA after this.